Hi, this is Sally Morgan, physical therapist, craniosacral therapist, and Tellington T-Touch practitioner for animals and people. This is Tristan. He's a Corgi, and we're here for an episode of Conversations with a Corgi. And it always looks white behind my window, but today it's white because there is snow, and it is continuing to sleet, snow, blow off the roof, etc. And it's pretty cold and awful out there. And I'm sure it is very cold in South Dakota, where Danny is, and where many of our listeners are. And weirdly, they're saying we had 7 inches of snow, but it's way less than that here, which is unusual because I'm slightly north of that prediction. 2 degrees at Danny's house. It's about 25 here, so we're not doing so badly. Maybe it's actually 33 or something because it's kind of sleeting. So what to do with your dog in this kind of weather? Of course, they have to go out, and lots of them will run out, do their business, and run back in. But Tristan and I, storm was a bust in New Jersey. Oh yeah, you were supposed to get snow all up in North Jersey. But lots of people like me, because my dog and I walk a couple of miles a day, will possibly take a walk in this weather. And so I want to talk today a little bit about what to have your dog wear if you are taking him out, and if you should have them wear something. For starters, a Corgi is a northern, England bred, Wales dog. So he's got a double coat. He is not as warm as a Malamute, but he certainly is as warm as a German Shepherd or a Husky or some of the collie breeds, because he does have an undercoat. So, the outer hairs are sort of greasy, and they do pull the moisture away from the center hairs, and then the hairs that are closer to the Corgi actually help keep him warm. So he's pretty well insulated. The problem arises in weather like this where it's wet, cold, and windy, or if you've got a dog that has hair, like a poodle mix, a Bichon, a lot of those small dogs, the Tibetan Terriers, anybody you've got to take to the groomer to get cut, their hair cut. My neighbor's got a Cairn Terrier, and she's pretty not hairy right now. Like, this is not a good day to take her out. So one of the options people sometimes think is a great idea on a day like this for their dog is one of these, albeit very cute, little like Christmas sweaters. This one has a fox on it. Tristan's super cute in it. Okay, so what this is good for is taking him for a walk on a cold day without much wind and when it's not raining. This is acrylic, so it's washable. It'll get wet really fast, and the snow will stick to it, and it will actually make him colder than if I just let him run around in his regular hair. So a little knit thing like this is not the best idea. Now, if we lose power and you've got something like a shaved Cairn Terrier in your house, putting that coat on them can help keep them warm. And certainly a lot of people with poodles and other poodly type dogs do keep a sweater on them in the winter in this weather if your house is not warm. My sister had a really old dog, and he lived in a sweater all the time, even though parts of her house are so hot. I and Tristan can barely stand it. We have another coat that looks better than it really is. Okay, so this is shiny on the outside. It has a reflector strip, and it feels sort of like a windbreaker, ski pants or something. And if it had fleece on the inside, this would be pretty darn good. But what it has on the inside instead is more of that same kind of shiny material. It's not very well insulated. I've taken Tristan for a walk in this, and the test always is to stick your hand under it. He's actually colder under it than he is without this on him. Part of how animal hair works to keep them warm is that it gets a little loft in it, and the hairs stick up. And that helps make a warm layer around the dog. And if you have thermography available to you, you can see that warmth bubble around your dog when he's out, even in cold weather. And you can also, I've seen studies of this with horse blankets, see that the blankets are actually making the horse colder than he was without the blanket. So what Tristan would wear today if we went out is this wonderful coat. I'm so lucky I got this, and I wish I had bought more from this woman, and I don't know if I'll ever see her booth again. It is from Snug Pups, made in Spinnerstown, PA. So you can probably go online and get more from Snug Pups. She makes them in length, so Tristan, being a Corgi, gets this extra long size. This is what I call his raincoat. It's got cute duckies on it, and it's really waterproof. It covers a lot of him. And then on the inside, it has a short kind of fleece lining that keeps him warm. And he is snug pups. He is as snug as a bug in a rug in this. I mean, he is very happy. It keeps the moisture off. It's easy to get on and off of him in a hurry if he's just going out for a tinkle. It allows the bottom half of him to be a little exposed so that the snowballs fall off. If you've got a breed of dog that gets snowballs in their armpits, be particularly careful, because it can get really painful if they're like poodles playing in the snow and they've got kind of a long coat and they get snowballs in their arms or around their joints, and they can't move their legs properly, and you've got a dog in pain. And you may think that he sprained his ankle, but really it's just the snowballs. So I really like this kind of raincoat fabric on the outside. I mean, this is completely water repellent, and then the inside has that layer of fleece to keep him warm. It is by far the best dog coat I have for serious outerwear. And I don't think it was even that expensive. Like, I'm definitely going to shop more on her website if I don't see her at the Pet Expo next weekend, because I might. The other thing you can do to help your dog stay warm, and my friend's been doing this with her dachshunds, is to get a scarf. So her dachshunds are even slimmer in the neck than he is. And what she's doing is using those, infinity scarves or whatever they're called, where it's just a round thing you put around your neck. And she's taking that and doubling it over so that it goes twice around her dachshund's neck, and they are comfortable. And it is amazing, as you might know yourself from wearing scarves when it's cold, how much warmer the whole dog is just having a scarf around his neck. And as you've seen, I have these ones I've gotten from 10,000 Villages that Tristan wears. These are the kind that you wear around your head like this, to keep your ears warm. So look for human clothing that might be good for your dogs. And those dachshunds are really happy in those scarves. They don't always like clothes, but having that scarf around their neck, theirs are fleece buffalo plaid. They're just really sweet and cute in them and look great with a dappled dachshund. And Tristan, of course, like many dogs with his kind of hair, Huskies, German Shepherds, Malamutes, he's extra hairy in his neck. His ruff is really fluffy and warm. And so putting a scarf on him might not necessarily make him warm, but if you've got a dog without much hair like a dachshund, a scarf is a good option to help keep them warm. And of course, where the dachshunds live, there's a wood stove. They live in New Hampshire, and they are able to get quite warm laying by the wood stove, and you can't make them move. The other thing, just a quick reminder, and we'll talk more about these things maybe in the coming days, if your dog goes out, now they're going to be putting salt and brine and everything else on the sidewalks and the roads, and it's not always a great idea to put shoes on your dog. First of all, it's hard to find ones that fit well. The ones that are sort of like a balloon you roll over the foot tend to fit better. But often your dog needs his nails to get traction so he doesn't injure himself. So having naked feet is good. Make sure you trim out the fuzz between the paws. Under here, Bisky, show us your foot. On the bottom of the pad, if the hair is long, trim that out. And then I like to use a warm, wet towel when he comes in and just wipe all of his feet really well with that in order to get the snow melt and the salt and the whatever is in the road off of his feet, because he's a kid that likes to lick his feet every night before bed, and a lot of dogs do that. And the salt might taste good, and there might be other chemicals in it, so really a good idea to wash those feet off. And if your dog is a certain body type, so that when he's walking he's flicking up a lot of the road salt onto his stomach, make sure you wash that area as well, just so that if he lays with his paws under him and it gets on his paws, then he licks his paws, or if he licks his whole body. So those are a few tips on keeping your dogs warm in this weather. I just am amazed at how big this storm is. They've had some tornadoes down in Alabama. So everybody stay warm, stay inside with your dog. I will be spending the day packing for the World of Pets Expo, which I'm very excited about, in Maryland next weekend. If you are anywhere in the Virginia, Maryland, Delaware, New Jersey, Pennsylvania area, it's at the Maryland State Fairgrounds. I'm doing a workshop on Tellington T-Touch. My sister's doing a workshop. We're both doing several talks over the weekend. Many things to buy and watch. They have coursing. They have all kinds of dog agility competitions. They have dock diving, which is fun to watch. It's a really fun expo. So, and I'll talk more about that and do some lives from there. But I'll be packing today. I've got a little pile growing in the garage that I have to somehow puzzle their way into my not a truck anymore car. I think I remember how I did it. Which reminds me, I have to get my tables out of the garage. Anyway, I will see you guys again on Tuesday. I'm at my educator job Monday and Wednesday. Thursday, I'll be leaving at the crack of dawn to drive to the pet expo. So I will see you Tuesday, and probably not again till maybe the afternoon on Friday when we get to the expo, and Saturday and Sunday at the expo. So thanks for joining us. Everybody have a great day. Stay warm. Keep your pets safe.